One of the things that I'm most excited by in this season is our ability to bring national artists that are recognized all over the country and the world here to make their work. So that all the shows that are here are going to be made in Lowell, are going to be developed in Lowell, and our audiences will play a huge part of it. And then because we have this caliber of artists that are also going to mix with the local artists from the Boston area, this will set us up to be able to show the rest of the world what is going on in this area, the kind of renaissance in theater that's happening here, and then to be able for those shows to travel out to the world to really give a good example of the type of fantastic work that's happening here. The first show of the season is The Lion, written and performed by Benjamin Scheuer and directed by me. I worked with Benjamin for 2 years to put the show together before we premiered it at Manhattan Theatre Club in New York. Then it transferred to the West End in London, then it came back for a commercial run in New York, and then we will be the first theater to have it after that. Ben is a truly gifted and dangerously honest performer. That one of the things I've loved about the show is that every time we do it, everybody comes up to us afterwards and says, "Your story is exactly like mine," and then tells us a story that has nothing to do with the show, which I think means it has that type of accessibility and that his music is that type of profound that everybody gets to see themselves in the show. So I'm thrilled to start putting us on the map by launching the tour of that before it goes out to the world for 2 more years. Lauren Gunderson's I and You last year won the Steinberg American Theater Critics Award for the best play outside of New York City, and we're thrilled to have a production here that will feature Lauren in residence while it's going on. So not only will we have the play, we'll have the playwright here, and we'll be working on some of her new stuff at the same time. The reason that this play won the award and that it's had so many great productions is that few people write young voices that are as smart and are as authentic as Lauren does. And one of her real great gifts is the ability for younger people to be able to see themselves on stage. So I think it'll be a great opportunity for us to bring in new audiences to the theater while we're doing Lauren's award-winning piece. It's a Wonderful Life, a radio play, I think is one of the most charming holiday shows that are out there. It's a real opportunity for this to be a community center where when it comes time for the holidays, this is the place that people bring families, they bring their friends, and they get to come celebrate. I always think it's a real responsibility when you do a holiday show because for so many people, it's the only piece of theater they're going to see. And for many people, it's the first time they've been at the theater. So I'm really excited to do a piece that's going to bring in new audiences to us and allow us to really celebrate what it means to be together at the holidays and to be able to celebrate the great American classic that is this movie. The next play is a play, The White Chip, actually that I wrote, that'll be directed by Tony-nominated director Sheryl Kaller, which I'm thrilled to have her here. The White Chip is a study in the science of addiction and what does it really mean in terms of a conversation that we all want to have in the country right now in terms of Philip Seymour Hoffman, in terms of Robin Williams. What does it actually mean? How do our brains and chemistry work? And how do we begin to use science to change the national conversation about addiction and not necessarily the same conversations that we've had over and over again? After it happens here, the show will most likely be moving on to a tour in other places, and so we're thrilled to once again be a place where we're starting work that's going to travel to the rest of the world. Tinker to Evers to Chance by Matt Smart, I think is the greatest baseball play ever written. So many people, when they write sports plays, they don't really get the metaphor of sports rights, and Matt does this amazing thing where he shows you that to be a sports fan and to be a sports fan of a chronically losing team is to be the greatest romantic in the world, because every year you believe this could be your year, even though every year beforehand has shown you it's not. So I think for the area here, for baseball fans, for people that love the sport and love to talk about it, this is a great show. Idris Goodwin, who is one of the premier hip-hop artists and writers in the country, his next show, The Realness, will be doing the world premiere of, which is directed by the artistic director of the O'Neill Theater Center, Wendy Goldberg. I think Idris, his writing is fantastic, and his ability to be able to bring in multiple constituents to have a conversation about what does it mean for us actually to be authentic in today's world? What does it really mean for us to try to be legitimately where we're from, and at the same time who we want the rest of the world to believe? There are a few artists that I think that are having the type of impact that Idris has, and it's very important for us to be premiering his new play here, which we will all be watching other theaters do for years and years afterwards. Home of the Brave, by Boston's own Lila Rose Kaplan, is one of the funniest farces that I've known. And it's of course about politics, which we all enjoy a good chuckle at from time to time. So I think for us to be able to premiere a new playwright by a female playwright out of Boston that really feels current in ways that other plays don't, and also is amazingly funny. When we did a workshop of this just a couple months ago, it's the only workshop I've ever seen where one of the actors got exit applause at the end of a scene because the audience was so wrapped up in it and so loved that character so. So once again, because it happens here first, our audiences will play a huge role in, you know, what jokes stay, what jokes go, how things are responded to, the order of things, and then once it's really solidified here, this is a play that's going to take on the world.